thought and how humans access it. Understanding the basics will go a long way, because once you understand the simplicity, it becomes pretty fun to kind of see these same patterns and things come up everywhere. And then using what you learn from one place to decipher something else, and makes life a lot more fun. I guess we all kind of realize now we live in a quantum reality. So we exist here in the three-dimensional reality we all know. All exist in a quantum reality as well. So we exist here, and we also exist in another place and time, so to speak. We exist in that reality much differently than we exist in this reality. And so the best way that I can kind of describe it is, imagine you were just a monitor, old CRT TV with white noise, and you were just spread out amongst them. Every pixel in the white noise, everything that exists, is just put together slightly different for you, and your 3D dimensional reality is manifested. I think all this happened, the quantum reality was made possible by the Big Bang, single source of creation, which was destruction, which I think is what the Bible refers to as being born of sin. All existence was born of destruction. Since the past, present, and future are all happening at once, this dimension seems like chaos, but chaos, like everything else, must all still abide by the rules and laws of existence and physics and things like that. The Big Bang, like I said, resulted in the merging of dimensions. They meet in the middle of the torus to give us our reality. I like to think that we're the stuff on the outside, like the interference, right? The true energy force is somewhere in the middle, and we're on the outside is chaotic, just chaotic static. If you look at it from a further enough view, we're just static to this entire existence creator thing, whatever it is. Some of the static laws of existence that I've kind of noticed, kind of the simplest ways I could try to explain them without getting into physics and things like that. There's cause and effect. Anything that happens by nature has an effect, seen or unseen. So everything has a cause and effect, vibration. And our reality is light and sound based, and therefore relies upon vibration. All particles in the three-dimensional reality are vibrating at the smallest level. They're tied to their quantum components that vibrate as well, potentially. They may not vibrate because that could be where they are still. So the law of polarity describes the way in which our 3D existence uses positive, neutral, and negative charges. The law of rhythm, this law describes the way in which all the laws work together in harmony. So our existence is more or less determined by the rhythm of the frequencies of the vibrations. And so that's just how they all work together. When we look at the three kind of levels of that, we get what we have here, our reality. Everything exists outside of time in the quantum dimension. This is an automated process. It continues to expand in all possible known and unknown realities until manifested. Then it begins a new fractal growth of all new possibilities. So thought works just like a plant. It's going to take on its own form. It's going to grow into whatever feeds it, so to speak. There's just a lot different ways that thoughts can grow versus how something grows in this 3D nature. So thought is like our first real dimension that crosses both this reality and the other reality, because basically, thought is simply an interpretation from the quantum realm. I think our brains are just receiving information from this quantum existence. And so your unique experiences allow you to interpret things from a quantum dimension in your own way to manifest it in the three dimensions. So you've ever heard of that common phrase, great minds think alike? Great minds access the same tiers of thought, and the path to greatness is very narrow. Therefore, they come to similar conclusions, right? Because life is truly simple, and the higher frequency you can think, the more you can see the simplicity in it. The closer to the point of creation, the higher the frequency. This is where the idea of high frequency thinking comes from. Your inspirations are on a high frequency. You're inspired when you're relaxed, when you're in love, when you're, scared, when you're vibrating in a very high frequency. And that's when that's where inspiration happens, which is the most important thing in the world. The human is unique in the way it accesses thought amongst the animal kingdom. Just as any other animal species on the planet, it has the capacity to observe its surroundings through multiple dimensions and exist in a three-dimensional reality. The observations of its surroundings is a combination of filters that the brain uses to determine its preservation status. The human is an animal until it learns how to use its most powerful tool, which is the brain. So let's talk about the brain. If you begin to think of the brain as the receiver more than the actual creator of things, then things kind of begin to sort themselves out in your life. The stronger you make your brain, the higher realms of thought you can interpret, understand, and manifest. Many people make the incorrect assertion that high equals good and low equals bad. This is not the case, right? It's just different ways of understanding the same thing. This just is. We apply good and bad to things. Not all low frequency things are bad, not all high frequency things are good. Here's kind of the frequency correspondence. High frequency thinking examples are like fun, enjoyment, creativity, when you're vibing high, so to speak. Low frequency thinking is like survival mode, when you're violent, misuse of the flesh. You're just trying to do anything to make your body feel better, not necessarily your mind. Why is all of this important? Well, it's not really, unless you want to tame your brain, get your ego under control, or really dig deep into understanding how we manifest things. Manifestation is kind of a big thing today, and so understanding the balance of how it really works can help you manifest things better, quicker, faster, more clearly, so you're not manifesting things that come with a ton of chaos, so you can actually handle your manifestations. Thanks.